Police and King of Pain, and I have my friend Cap'n Fatty Goodlander with me, and we all know about pain because we have boats. We own boats, isn't that right?
That's right. That's right, Gary.
It's the most painful thing you can have. And look, and you've broken the camera. We've had this video camera. You see the live stream, the camera up there?
That doesn't surprise me. Whenever I'm on shore, weird things happen, man.
That's been working right up until you came into the studio.
Whenever I'm around dirt dwellers, bad things happen.
Well, you're listening to the Coast Light Happy Hour, and we've extended our segment of the Ocean Media Sailing News to include the fat man over here, who is always good value because we don't pay him. And,
whenever I do this, my father says that that whenever I give away a book, I prove what it's worth.
Somebody in the chat room has commented on the hat you were wearing.
Oh, well, they've got actual video on me? Do they know I'm naked?
Well,
oh, my God.
Until the camera went off.
Yes, well, I do have this hat, and it's like wearing a little tent. And after a couple of circumnavigations and 52 years at sea, my skin is given up. My epidermis is basically bubbling away. And so I have to be pretty careful, and I do wear this hat with a huge brim, both fore and aft. And it really is a comfort, particularly since, like today, I worked for quite a few hours on deck there.
I have the same problem. I've had the top of my ears cut off. The surgeon took the top sliver off the top of the ears, and now I'm bubbling too. Is that a chili hat?
No, it isn't. I get it through Amazon.com. It's not terribly expensive, but boy, is it nice and cool.
Yeah, I said, is it a silly hat? No,
a silly hat, yes. It's very, absolutely.
Now, which one I want to talk about today a little bit, and we have to play the music too, which I know we're going to jump in with some music, but you've lived on board for about 52 years, is that correct?
Yeah, all but for a few years. Basically, I've lived aboard my entire life except when the boats have sank out from under me, and then I have to swim ashore, and usually I don't have like very good clothes on and no wallet or checkbook or anything, and then get another boat. And the last time I was swimming ashore in Clayborough, some guy pulled over and said, what's the matter? Are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay. I need another yacht. And he was like, well, what do you mean you need another yacht? I said, I need another yacht right now. He said, well, do you have any money or a job? I said, oh, don't mess with me, man. I'm having a bad day.
It's a bit like when you go to the bar. When we went to the bar together, you didn't have any money or a checkbook then, eh?
Well, normally I don't have any money at the bar, but whenever they start talking about money, I go to the bathroom anyway. I'm always in the John when the check arrives.
Now, you've just bought a new, it's not a new boat, but it's a wonderful boat. We can talk about that, can't we now?
We certainly can. It's a done deal. And the amazing thing is, my wife, my crazy wife, she's always messing around on the internet. And she started messing around when we're in Yap. Right, because they had a free internet connection, and the next thing you know, she's publishing books to something called Kindle. I had no idea what it was, and it's so complicated that I couldn't access the money. I wasn't smart enough to figure out how to withdraw the money, and it just kind of kept building over time. And 7 years later, after she started that project, there was enough in my royalties account to buy Ganesh.
Wonderful. So yeah. You've purchased the boat through your writing, and you've managed to be a professional writer, journalist and author through sailing. So it's like a circle, isn't it?
It is like a circle, and I've always wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a writer when I was 7 years old, when I was 6 years old, collecting pens and whatnot. But somewhere I had this horrible experience with the educational system in the United States that convinced me that since I didn't know how to spell and I didn't know what grammar was, that I couldn't be a writer. So I decided to become a songwriter because I figured Bob Dylan couldn't say anything, and he was famous, and Mick Jagger, despite those rubbery lips that he had, still somehow managed to attract women. And so I would become a songwriter. And in that quest to become a professional songwriter, I happened to stumble upon the fact that I was an actual writer, and I didn't have to pretend not to be, and I didn't have to allow anyone to set some false standard there about grammar and stuff. We have computers that know how to spell now.
I think we have to both. I think we both agree on that. That my writing career prospered the minute computers came in. All that other nonsense. It was very, very difficult, wasn't it?
Well, with my career, they say that you got to go with what you know. So I figured ignorance and stupidity would be the mainstays of my career, and it's worked pretty damn well, Gary. You got to admit.
Now, you've got this fantastic new boat, beautiful ketch, French built, very posh, and before that, you had, well, I don't want to be rude, but it was a bit of a bucket, wasn't it? I mean,
well, I had a very inexpensive boat. I paid $3,000 for it, and my wife said that I got ripped off. And many people were a little nervous to go on the boat for cocktails, particularly if the boat was actually floating and not in the shipyard. But I did manage to kind of limp around the world once or twice and sail the boat about 80,000 miles. She's a very seaworthy craft, but she was very simple and is very simple, and perhaps that's why she was so successful. I have a new boat that's far more complicated. The jury's still out on whether I've made a horrible mistake or a wonderful touchdown.
All right, we're going to take a break now and pay some bills, and then we'll come back with a bit of music. Then we'll go back to Captain Fatty for a few more minutes here on our Ocean Media Sailing News. There you go, John Lennon and Instant Karma. Captain Fatty Goodlander here with me in the studio for Ocean Media Sailing News. And Fatty, you've 2 circumnavigations now under your belt, and you've been to some of the wildest places that you could possibly take a sailboat, and you've seen all sorts of things. And thieving has become almost endemic. It's very bad, and a yacht often makes a good target because the people think, well, there's a rich guy. No matter you're not rich, but they think you are. Well, and I guess in some cases you are rich compared to what the people say in some areas of the Middle East are.
Well, it's amazing what's really astounding to me is how little crime there is worldwide. Even in places like Madagascar and Borneo, which you think because of their extreme poverty would be crime-ridden or not. Where there is a lot of crime is where there's disparity of income, where most people don't have a grain of rice and then the guy next to them has an iPad. You know, that's where you really get the problems. Unfortunately, there's a tremendous amount of crime here in the Simpson Bay Lagoon. I've been invited to dinner twice, and you know, I love to freeload and I love free food and I love to, you know, to do all that. But both times I've had to turn down the dinner invitations because I can't leave my boat at night, because literally every night in the Simpson Bay Lagoon there's people stealing dinghies and outboards. It makes me really sad to say that. It really does, because I love this island. I've been coming here since the 70s. And to think that it has such crime that I cannot leave my craft really makes me sad.
That is very, very sad indeed. And I know they seem to be targeting outboard motors and dinghies, and it seems to happen at this time every year.
Well, it really is unfortunate, and what's amazing is that, you know, basically I don't lock my boat a lot of places, and I don't lock my dinghy most places, but when I'm in America I do, and when I'm in St. Maarten I do, and when I'm in St. Thomas I do, and it seems to be the places that are more my culture than anywhere else have more crime. It hurts on some level. The world is such a wonderful place when there is no crime, you know, and in a lot of places in Polynesia, a lot of places in Southeast Asia, there's no crime. They don't even have really the concept of crime.
Well, yeah, a lot of places share things, don't they? And it's okay to do that, eh?
And you know, it's absolutely wonderful to, you know, for the chief to come down to me and you say, you know, we love you, Fatty. You can have any fish in the lagoon, and you can have any palm, you know, any coconuts, and you know, you're just a part of the family, and you know, family members really don't usually steal from each other. The one thing is that, you know, I'm a poor man by American standards. I'm a poor man by a lot of standards. But when I'm in Borneo, when I'm in Madagascar, when I'm in Southeast Asia, you know, I'm relatively wealthy compared to them. Yeah. And yet, nobody's trying to knock me over the head, or very few people are. Nobody's trying to steal my dinghy. In India, you can leave your dinghy, you can leave a radio, a transistor radio on your deck and leave your boat for 6 months, and they won't take it. And, you know, people think of India as crime-ridden, but that's absolutely not true. Now, they'll cheat you. But that's, you know, fair game. That's trickery. It's, you know, but yeah. But as far as stealing from your boat, they just don't do it. And that's wonderful, at least in Cochin. Now,
somebody has just said Fatty would be a cool guy around a fire with a cocktail or two.
Well, I am a cool guy around the fire with a cocktail or two, and I've had a few cocktails. And my wife, I still buy her bottles of wine, but I must say I'm not drinking as many cocktails as I used to, although I'm all in favor of it. And I often buy my wife, Carolyn, bottles of wine and watch her consume them.
Well, that's very, very nice. It's cheap bottles, of course. I mean,
well, not cheap. $2.
$2? Oh, you're spoiling the girl now. Ever since you became a famous author, you're spoiling the woman.
For God's sakes, cheap. No, expensive, man.
Now, I know you're going to set off soon. Well, not soon. I mean, not like instantly, but I mean, in the next few months, on a third circumnavigation. All right?
Yeah, that's what I mean, I am enjoying the circumnavigation so much. There's so many different reasons, but I love sailing. I average around 8,000 miles a year. That's a lot of sailing, and I really like being offshore. I have a wonderful wife that's been with me for 42 years, and I want to keep going, and I'm going to do that. I mean, I want to sail Ganesh around the world at least once, if not twice.
Oh, wonderful. Now, you have a book out. You've got lots of books out, and excellent books, also excellent books. But the latest one is a very, very important book for anyone who's thinking about following in Fatty's footsteps, sailing around the world and thinking, well, maybe I can't afford to do it. This book will convince you can do it. I've read this book. It's an awesome book. Fatty, just tell us a bit about it.
You, not only can you afford to sail around the world, in many ways, you can't afford not to sail around the world. Right. I'm making more money sailing around the world and leading the life of Riley than I am when I'm sitting in in the lagoon here and working my butt off. And the next thing you know, whenever you come and get hooked up with society, then pretty soon you have a cell phone, and then people are calling you and they're offering you jobs. And the jobs, of course, give you money, but they also put their hooks into you. And every choice that I've ever made in my life has been a choice towards freedom. And I want to continue that of constantly purchasing freedom at the expense of pleasure or convenience. Who cares about convenience? This big chase for convenience. Oh, I want this to be more convenient. I don't want convenience. I want joy. I want passion. I want pleasure. I want challenge, not convenience. Gosh almighty, almighty. Anyway, I've got a book out called Buy, Outfit, Sail. And Buy, Outfit, Sail is a book that shows you how, on pennies, you can live this incredible life. It doesn't take a lot of money. I just bought a boat that's very inexpensive. The boat that I just sailed around the world twice is only a $3,000 boat. And you can sail around the world for less money than, you can, sleep on the dinghy dock of the St. Maarten Yacht Club. It's really true. and have a much better time. And there's, it doesn't cost you much, particularly in Southeast Asia, and there's nothing to buy. We go to Chagos for 4.5 months. There's no people in Chagos. There's no stores. Every day in Chagos, I'd give my wife a $100 bill, says, buy anything you want, Now, I had to take them all back when we went to my yacht, which is a French island.
The book, it's not only telling you how to do it inexpensively, it's also a very honest book. Fatty does cruise around on the pennies that Scotsmen throw away, but he's an honest guy. What he doesn't do is he doesn't cheat and he doesn't steal, and that's very important to you. Right?
Well, it's funny. The book has a tremendous amount about morality. And when you live like I do, as an artful dodger, you have to be extremely honest. You can't, you have to have good karma. It sounds funny, but there's no, I can't go around screwing people over and having people welcome me with open arms. It doesn't work that way. They just don't, somehow they know. So you can look at, building good karma as a new age concept, or you can think of it as just a righteous way to live, so that, if you give, you can take. If you invite somebody over to your boat and you feed them and you invite them into your heart, somebody's going to invite you over to their boat and they're going to feed you and invite you into the heart. Now, there's no way, if you don't do that, that's going to happen to you. And so by leading this life where, you're kind of giving things away and receiving things, it really works. It's a practical way to live. And you look at the other thing. When somebody rows up to my boat, I think, hey, here comes a great guy. You look at it the other way. Oh, here comes somebody who's trying to sell me something. Here comes somebody who might rip me off, So I want to think those things. And this ability to embrace life, to kiss it full on the lips, to go with it, we carry water because we didn't have a water maker, so you meet people, we take buses because we can't afford to rent cars, and so we come into a harbor and we have some wealthy friends on a big Swan 56, and at the end of the week, we know everybody and everybody knows us, and we got all these dinner invites, so we're running around. People on the Swan 56 are saying, how do you know these people? Well, we know them because we don't have enough money to insulate ourselves from them. They're the actual people, and we're going to those foreign countries to meet the people, not to avoid them.
Wonderful stuff. Now, how can people get hold of your books? And I do recommend you buy this book, actually, even if you're not a sailor. If you've anything if you like to see at all, then do buy this book. But how can people find them?
Well, it's on Amazon.com, and it's a simple way. You can punch in Cap'n Fatty Goodlander on Amazon.com, and all my books will come up. And there's two books that I'm really incredibly excited about. Chasing the Horizon, which is my first book. That was published 22 years ago, and is still my bestseller.
Yeah.
And this book, Buy, Outfit, Sail. The full title of this is How to Inexpensively and Safely Buy, Outfit, and Sail a Small Vessel Around the World. Now, notice there's two words in there that are I insisted was in the title. One is inexpensively, but two is safety.
Yeah. Safely.
Because if without safety, without that concept, then you're not a sea gypsy, you're an idiot. You're a fool.
I've read quite a lot of books on boating through the years about how to do things, and a lot of them are just complete nonsense. This book is not nonsense. This is a practical guide. It's down to earth. It's common sense There's a lot in it about karma, and this is the book that you're going to need if you're going to go sailing anywhere, believe me. Cap'n Fatty Goodlander, thank you ever so much for being with us here on the Ocean Media Sailing News and during Drive Live on the Coast Light Happy Hour. It's always wonderful to see you, and we'll be having dinner together soon. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you very much, Gary.